Mozzarella sticks, anything, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, I love to eat. I would give smoking up if I know I'm eating good. I can definitely give smoking up, you know. But go and get something more to eat, you know. Like I say, like mozzarella sticks have been sounding so good lately, you know, something like that. Go get them, cook them. But I'm gonna end up putting on weight, you know. Oh wow. Yeah, I never even tried vegetables, but that's a great point. Asparagus, you know, make a steak and some asparagus or whatever. This girl's got the same backpack Kelli has. What is it with, like, I don't even want to say it, like, every girl that comes by me today has been turning around and putting her ass in my face. You know what I mean? I'll like look over and they always got their ass pointed at me. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? So I don't know why they fucking do that. Well, I'm glad I never gave Lovey that one new payment thing, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, she used to always be like, oh, this is all I can use, and, you know, I can't believe she fucking blocked me. I did unfriend her the other day after seeing that post where she's like, the less I know about people's problems, the better, because I'm a fucking bitch, and blah, blah, blah. It was like the post that I saw. It was like a meme thing, but you know what I mean? It was just, and she's posted several things. She even sent me messages where I was like, excuse you? You know, like, excuse you? Like, you know, she tried fucking telling me, you know, that she's, you know, got her trucking job and built everything she's built with felonies, and, you know, and she tried to tell, you're the only one stopping you and stuff, and I was like, don't compare your situation and my situation. It's nothing alike. There's no comparison, you know. But yeah, she sent me some bogus messages, and I was just really hanging on by threads, being nice to her. I'm glad she blocked me, because I wanted to block her a couple weeks ago. Not because she's not sending money, but it's just her whole attitude did a whole shift towards me, and I don't know what it was, other than she sent me a picture, like, of her ass in sweats, and I didn't heart it, I didn't say anything about it. And I'm telling you that, like, her support basically just went away after she sent that picture, and I didn't even really say nothing about it or to it, you know. And then, part of me just wonders if she was doing the same thing with the recording and shit, because, you know, she seemed to only want to come around when there was drama. As soon as the drama conversation's done, she's gone. You know, or like the couple times I did an open live during this little space of time of private lives, you know, like, she wouldn't show up days on end. And I told you that one day, I was like, we're gonna do an open live, and I watched her come in. When we did the open live, she was there. Bam, immediately. I guess I just don't understand. That shit eats at me, because I'm like, I don't understand the fakeness. I don't understand people that actually gave money, you know, like even you've done a lot, you know, and I'm saying, like, I just don't understand how people are going to do a lot for someone and then just be like, fuck them, and have a whole attitude. It's like, what did I do to you? I never treated her no different, even when she pulled back and didn't say nothing. I never treated her no different. You know, and I remember one of the last times she gifted me in here, she was all like, you know, and I don't know why she chose to gift instead of just send it, you know, after all my spiels. I don't understand it. I don't know what it is about these people, or what they have going on, or who they are, or you know, it's like, you know, she did like those 2 manifesting gifts. That's like $10 on her side of things. You know, that costed $10, and I needed like, it was like $10 or $20 that day. And she did. It was like she was just like purposely smacking me across my face. You know what I mean? Because like, it'd be like if I messaged you and was like, man, I'm just $10 away from what I need right now, and then you came in and did $10 in gifts. You know what I mean? Like, knowing that I'm only gonna get six something out of that, and it doesn't help me until the following week. Because like, I messaged her that day, man, I need $10 or whatever it was. She comes in and does 2 manifesting gifts. She goes, well, that was fun, now it's done. You know? Yeah, and a week later, exactly. And she did the 2, and then she dropped a shitty comment about it. Well, that was fun, now it's done. And I'm like, you're the one that chose to just do gifts instead of Cash App it. You know, if you had $10 for coins, why don't you just do $10 to the Cash App? You chose to buy coins and do it like that. You know, at least I get a cool video out of it, but you know, damn. I don't know, it's just weird. The behavior is so weird. Man, I needed some pop. That's good. So yeah, I don't know. You know. And you know, I was kind of watching Keen last night. He was in a battle, and it was pretty funny. The girl was acting really dumb, and he had her crashing out. You know, and then like she was trying to, you know, it's like, you watch too much TikTok, girl, because she was on the, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, you know, you can use the are you okay reverse psychology type, like, you know, in certain situations, and, you know, sparingly. You know, you can get onto someone's ass by being like, are you okay? But she was just taking it way too far. It was like, is that all you can say? Because he's actually making valid points right now. And then anyways, but he was chit-chatting with this next girl, this other girl, and, you know, she was like new to TikTok and stuff, and then he's like, it's hard to have a TikTok and not battle. You know, like, basically, if you're not battling, you're not, like, he's like, the way he put it was like, people aren't just going to sit here and talk to you. And I'm like, I've reached that awareness with this, where it's like, very few people can you sit around and just chit-chat with. Like, I can chit-chat with you all day. But the truth is, for the most part, you really can't just sit around and talk. Once it gets to a certain level, because all they're doing is recording you, all they're doing is info gathering on you, trying to pick things apart, start arguments with you, get you to crash out, make a fool of yourself. Then there's a video out there of you being a fool. So it's really to the point, it's like, yeah, it's really, you gotta come on TikTok and just battle, you know. And then you don't want to ask for donations and stuff, you know, but yet people can go online and see how much money you're making, you know. So when we go back, we might start doing battles again where we're just kind of casually meeting other people and just being like, hey, what's up? You know, what do you do? I've been around long enough that I've been around longer than most of these other people that's going to pull up, you know, that's going to come up on the screen. Especially being in D-League. I got a ton of time on all of them. You know. I just feel like the days of just sitting around and yapping about anything under the sun, over. Because, you know, it's to the point even like just people asking what time it is and stuff, you know, they're literally only asking to figure out what time zone you're in so they can narrow down states that you're in and all that type of stuff, you know. It's sad that this fucking shit has made me so paranoid, but I saw the dark side of it. I saw the worst side of TikTok possible, honestly, at this point. It's fucking unreal. It's unreal. Let me plug my phone in before it gets down too low. To kind of hold it. Happy swung in earlier. She's like, I got $4. Let me see what I can do. And then she's not been back around. Not sure what she was thinking. Yeah, I think you're right about that. You're right. Because that was something that I thought about the other day. I'm like, why was it my first account, the account that I lost? I had 7,000 followers in a couple months. But I ran battles all the time. Just constantly, even if it meant I was by myself. You know, and there was times I would be alone, you know. And that's how I got a $400 gift, or $300, $400, whatever dollar gift, was I ran battles all day. I was alone. I was never bitching, complaining, nothing. I just was like, oh, this is weird, you know. And then a girl came in and she's like, I've been ghost watching you and I think you deserve this. Bam, you know. So, you know, went a whole day thinking that I was getting nothing, and then at the end of the day it was just one person, and she used to stream, so she had lots of coins that she hadn't cashed out and all this extra shit, you know. And there's a lot of people like that floating around this platform, low-key. They really do have it to give, you know. Yeah, they do. But again, she turned around, had a crush on me, and wanted to have an internet relationship with me, and I wasn't feeling it. All of her content was so heavily filtered that when I added her on Snapchat after a while, and she sent me a picture of what she really looked like, I was like, whoa. You know what I mean? And it's scary because everything they do on TikTok, they put a filter on. They can look like a mountain person, and they put a filter on and it makes them cute as hell. As soon as that filter's off, you're like, what? I'm looking at a whole different person. And then she got salty, you know, and ended up removing herself. And it's been like that. I guess I don't know why I'm even surprised anymore, because it has literally been like that from the beginning. So many of these girls came around just because they were crushing, and they'll be main supporter for a couple weeks, a month, and then they're gone. You know? And they'll claim, oh, I'm not interested in you like that and all this stuff, but they are. I don't know why. I'm not that special. I don't get that shit. I am and I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, everyone should believe in themselves. I know I get good luck, you know? And like, sometimes that's what I feel like. I feel like people think that I'm lucky or something, and they just want me in their life because they think that, like, they'll be lucky, you know? And I'm like, That's kind of a weird, self-centered thing to say, in a way, you know what I mean? Or whatever the word would be. But it's like, that's kind of the vibe I get. Like, I feel like people think that I'm gonna bring something to their table that they need. And then they get pissed, you know? And I've met girls that are, I'm talking, unlucky. Like that girl in Texas, the gas station girl. I had her over, we smoked, we're chilling. I said, let's go to the vending machine. I said, all I got is enough money for a couple honey buns or whatever, but let's go hit the vending machine. I'm telling you, I never had that vending machine act up on me, not one time. We go to get stuff, type in the code, freezes up, doesn't spit out what she wanted. I type in what I want, freezes up, don't spit out what I wanted. The next day, when she was gone, I went to use it, it worked fine. You know what I mean? And that's like a kind of a stupid example, but it's just what came to mind. But you know, like, some people have like terrible fucking luck. You know, like everything they go to touch, it just fucking burns down and it don't work. You know? And she literally stood there and was like, that's my bad luck working right there. I'm like, wow. But it makes me wonder, you know, like even Lovey, when Lovey was all like, you know, oh, I'll put you in my truck and we'll drive around the country together and shit. Just makes me wonder, like, did she think that I was gonna bring her business or something? You know what I mean? I was gonna bring her loads. I honestly don't think that she's an owner-operator. She claims to be an owner-operator. I also insulted her one time, but here's the thing. When you act like you're Miss Big Truck Driver and you're good at what you do, if you're good at what you do, then you're gonna find videos that trash talk shitty drivers, for instance, like in her career field. If you're a good driver, you're gonna laugh at drivers that are making fuck-ups on the road, you know? And so, like, I sent her a video that was talking about, I think the guy was at a rest stop, and it had, like, a dog on the screen, and, you know, like, wide-eyed and, like, you know, like, looking crazy. And it was, like, me watching, you know, the foreign guy on his 50th attempt to back his trailer in, you know what I mean? Because, like, sometimes people, they drive semis and they can't back them up, which is just fucking mind-blowing to me. I lived out of a camper, and that rig was, like, my truck and camper combined, it was, like, 55 feet long, you know? So, I mean, that's, like, a little bit longer than a semi-trailer. I could whip that thing anywhere. You know, I could back that thing in the tightest spots. I could back that thing up hills. I fucking back that thing up anywhere. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she works for a company, because she told me one time that she was gonna send money, and then she was like, oh, I don't get paid till Friday. Well, if you were an owner-operator, it would have nothing to do with. It's like several times she told me that she got paid Friday. I'm like, you don't get paid on Fridays if you're an owner-operator. You get paid any day of the fucking week. Any day that you drop your load, pick up a new load, you know, whatever your contract is with that people. But, you know, the owner-operators could be making money every day, every other day. Payday could be every other fucking day for you. But yeah, I think she worked for a company, because then I sent her that video about, you know, like the guy goofing around, being like me watching him do his 50th attempt to back up. And then like she shot back this like nasty message about like, sometimes I struggle too, you know, these are real big trucks. And I'm like, an owner-operator would not be sitting there basically saying that backing their trailer up is hard. That's what makes an owner-operator, you know, it gives them the ability to be an owner-operator, because you can back your shit up. You can, you know, you're so confident. You don't have to have a company paying for your gas. You don't have to have a company responsible if you wreck that bitch, back it into somebody. Like owner-operators, they're responsible for everything, you know? So you're not going to go get your own truck and your own trailer. You got to buy your own trailers, you know? You're not going to go spend 50 grand on a trailer and 300 grand minimum on a truck. You know, you're not going to have over $250,000 invested in a rig that you're not 100% confident maneuvering around. But, you know, and she got all insulted that I sent her that video. And I was just trying to be funny. I had no idea that she struggled backing her truck up. And I know I'm just talking cash shit right now, but it's like, I thought it was funny. And you told me you were an owner-operator, and she was always talking about, remember when she'd come in here and be like, oh, I'm hooking up to a tanker, I'll talk to you guys soon and shit, you know, like she was always talking all this big shit, like she was big mama truck driver, you know. So I thought it would be funny, because now my uncle, I got an uncle that drives truck. He's been doing it for like, fuck dude, probably pushing 30 years now, which is mind-blowing, because I'm 30. He's been driving truck for a long time now. He's not been driving for 30 years, but I would say he's probably been driving for 20, 25 years now. And I think he did like 12 to 15 years over the road. Long haul, you know. And then he got in at Chrysler, so he goes home every night and he drives in to Chrysler plant, and he is actually the yard dog now, which people talk shit about the yard dogs, the guys that just hook up trailers and reshuffle them, but that's actually a very privileged job to have. Like I say, he had to drive over the road for, you know, fucking 15 years, we'll call it, probably 12 years. And then when he first got on at Chrysler, he was still driving sometimes to Canada and things like that. So he was still, you know, over the road for him. And then finally they gave him the spot shuffling trailers around. But he's got a system that they adopted like plant wide, all across the state, you know. And he's in Michigan, but like, you know, he had such a good system for organizing those trailers and reducing the flow of traffic and truckers coming in, not being able to find their fucking trailer and shit, you know. So there is an art to it, you know, and he's always takes pride in his work. But I'm saying, and you know, like all he does is fucking whip trailers around all fucking day. But you know, and he's not even on my thing anymore, and I need to try to reconnect with him and see if he'll fucking at least be friends with me again. But I'm saying, I used to send him trucking shit all the time, you know, Swift drivers doing stupid shit, and like he would just be fucking rolling and talking shit because he's actually a good driver. That's all the point I'm making right now. He's actually a good driver. He's good at his fucking job. You know, and he had a couple accidents too. Way back in the beginning, I remember he had a couple fucking accidents. He got fired from a couple companies, you know, for fucking backing the truck into shit and stuff. You know, it's gonna happen, you know, you gotta learn, but I just think it's funny, because I sent her that video just trying to be funny, and like I say, this was like just the start of the downfall with Lovey. She started just being mad about everything I did. I could say nothing right, I could do nothing right. But I struck a nerve with her. That was one of the first things I think I struck a nerve with her, was talking shit about drivers that can't back their truck up. And then she literally was just so mad. Oh, these things are big and it's hard, and sometimes I'm like that too. And I'm like, whatever, dude. You're not an owner operator. I didn't say that, but I'm Like, there's no way you're an owner-operator and you struggle back in a trailer. That's just the most absurd fucking thing I ever heard in my life. You know, but then what's sad is because she's a woman, and I'm not meaning this in any bad way, but, you know, she's a woman in a male-dominated industry, and that's not to say there's not a place for women, because there most certainly is, but can you do the job or not? And you know she's probably taken a lot of shit at a lot of places for struggling backing her truck in. You know what I mean? Because people do judge. They do judge the fuck out of you if you can't do it. So I'm just saying, that's probably why I struck a nerve with her so bad, was probably because she struggles everywhere she goes. You know, I'm just saying, she struggles everywhere she goes, and they probably stand there and watch her and laugh at her, and it pisses her off. I hate to say that shit, but it's like, and you'll get better at it, but it's like, what's it gonna take? I don't know, because, like, you know, it's not that fucking hard to back up a trailer. I don't know. I don't care how big the fucking truck is. I had a very big truck before. I've drove some semis in my time. It's not that fucking hard to back a trailer up. But there's places that it would be tight, yeah, but I'm just saying, I don't know. You know, and then that's what, you know, she prides herself so much on, just like her sending that shitty message to me, you know, about, oh, look at everything I've done with felonies and everything else. So, you know, she's one of those people that over exaggerates her fucking success story. You know, yeah, you might be successful, you might be making decent money and shit, but, you know, I think you're probably over exaggerating your success. You know, and then you're trying to rip on somebody. It's just, wow, you know, you're trying to rip on somebody that's not there yet, but it's like, you know, and one day I want to get my CDL. That would be my dream job, just fucking driving a semi, you know? I think I would be perfect for it. You know, it's just gonna take a little doing to get there. I got some things I gotta get situated. It's just not gonna happen overnight. And that was something she used to always try to push me on too, was, oh, just get your CDL. And I told her flat out, I can't. My license is suspended right now. It's fucking suspended. You know, it's not just gonna fucking happen. You know? First time in my life, too. Besides my DUI, but this is the first time in my life I had an issue with my license like this. It's fucking depressing to me, too, you know? And I have a chauffeur's. I already have the first step to getting your CDL. You know, like I can drive for companies, construction companies and stuff. Pull trailers. You're not even supposed to pull a trailer. You're not even supposed to have another coworker in a truck with you if you don't have a chauffeur's license. You know. And it's easy to get. It's not hard to get that shit at all. You gotta pay a little money. You gotta do a fucking physical. You gotta take a test. It's not a hard test, but you gotta basically get every question right or they fail you. And then I think you can only retry it once, something like that. I got it on my first try. I'm gonna go outside and smoke a cigarette. Yeah, I am pretty shocked. She didn't even say nothing. That's what's funny to me is, and these people will talk shit about me and they'll say that I block everybody and stuff. That is not true. And let this be the prime example. You know, they say that I block my supporters and shit. No, I don't, bro. She hauled off, she took off, she never even said what the problem was. She never said shit. She just fucking up and blocked me. Yesterday she was there. Today she was gone. Oh, hell yeah. Yep. Never even said what the problem was, what her issue was. That's what I think is funny. I did too, because I even have a message from her that said, I'm not going nowhere. Like, because she even said something to me one time, like, if you ever block me, she's like, I'm going to be here regardless. That was, and I kind of didn't like that, because I took that as, if you block me, I'm going to troll you, basically, you know what I mean? Or I'm going to still ghost watch you. But that's what she said to me. She was like, you know, even if you, she's like, you got to do what's best for you, but I'll always be there for you. That's what she said. Then to just pull back on me, I don't know. You know what? Fuck, dude. I don't know if I should say this or not. I don't think it really matters at this point. Let's put this in context first, in case they're recording me. We had a lot of people that would donate. Okay? We picked up a nice amount of people during my hike. You know, even if they were just one and dones. You know, we had several people that would just do something once and then move on. But the point is I would walk for all day. 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. You know, sometimes 7 p.m. So I was putting in a whole shift like you would, clocking in somewhere, walking. That was several hours for people to see, engage, and want to support. You want to know what I think became the problem, Christy? This is the problem. People started counting about how much money it was costing, you know, and all they could do is average. But I feel like people started averaging out, okay, he's getting enough donations for a room, he's getting enough donations for a meal, he's getting enough donations to keep a vape in his pocket or whatever, you know. And I think that they crunched the numbers and they probably calculated it up for a year. And they realized that technically I was making more money than they do. Going to their 9 to 5. Lovey included. Lovey fucking included. Call me the bad guy, record it, post it, suck my dick. I don't care. That's what it was. They crunched numbers and they were like, if he makes this much a day to pay for all these needs and he does that 7 days a week, month after month. And the thing was we only went maybe 1 month of getting rooms consistently, and that was me literally walking till the skin wore off of my feet to the point they were bleeding. My feet were bleeding. I never showed my feet because that's just too private, but you know what I mean? My feet were destroyed. Blisters on blisters on blisters, skin totally peeled off, ripped off, even up between my toes there was no skin. Like, it was so much pain, it's not even funny. Not to mention the danger. How many times when that guy pulled a knife on me in Detroit, getting stuck in the mountains in the middle of the night, dogs trying to attack me and shit, all this crazy shit that was going on. That's what I truly believe. And some of the people did know how much a room costed, because they would ask, how much is your room? And I would tell, and then they would sometimes just send the full amount. But that's kind of what I feel like is what happened, is people crunched it down and they were like, at this rate, he's going to be making X amount of dollars a year. And you get what I'm saying, without putting a number on it. and they were like, fuck him, I'm not going to be a part of doing this. He's doing better than me, and he doesn't have to punch a clock. And that is the most asleep mindset there is in this world. That's that broke man fucking mentality that you've got to punch a clock to have an income. They couldn't stand to see me have my peace, my happiness, my freedom, and meeting my own needs. And yet, like I say, and I know I won't go into a big rant about it, I promise. But look at all the people that are making so much more money. $10,000 a week in gifts. But because they already have a house, or they already had a vehicle, or they already have certain things, nobody cares. It's just an NPC, NCP, a non-character player mindset. You know what I mean? That so many people have, this non-character player mindset that the poor need to stay poor. And how dare a fucking poor person create a way when there was no way. Nobody had a problem with me when it was windy as fuck and I was cold as fuck and I was like, man, we gotta, I need to get some fleece pants, I need a hoodie. Like, people there had no problem donating to try to keep me warm, just as long as I was outside still. As long as my ass was outside, nobody gave a damn. Not even Kelli. And I feel like that's where I see a lot of homeless people coming onto the app now, and they sit outside and collect gifts, and it's simply because they're sitting outside and people are like, oh wow, they're doing, and like, I feel like they just felt like I was wrong. I was wrong for getting a room at night or something, It's such a weird thing. I feel like they just got mad. Hold on. But I reached a place, and I feel like this is maybe why things are going my way even now. Where I reached a place where I'm like, I don't deserve this. I don't care what people say about me. I don't care what they think about me. I don't care. I sat there and I said, I know who I am. I don't deserve to be homeless. I don't deserve to be living like this. I don't deserve to have my beard all out, overgrown, and my ass dirty, and no clothes on my back, and dirty clothes on my back at that. I don't deserve a life like that. I don't. Everyone's done something evil in their life, but I don't just run around being an evil person. And I feel like that's a part of the thing, though. You have to believe and know you deserve better. And the universe has no choice but to give you something better. But if you're always thinking, oh, this is what I deserve and I'm no better than this, then that's where you get stuck in it. And I have no idea right now, year to year, how things are going to pan out, how it's going to happen, I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea. I know I don't deserve to just be stuck in homelessness, starvation, dirtiness, and I know I'm better than that. That's crazy. And I still had to experience it, though. That's the thing. People write it off, but you know, I struggled with homelessness for 3 years before I ever came on TikTok and asked for any help or got any help. You know, I did. For a whole year, I lived in a tent. Never once got on TikTok. Never even thought of it. And that's what I think is funny, is I think a lot of people, and then a lot of people see me, okay? You know who else I blocked? Was Yuki. You remember Yuki, the Ukrainian girl? I blocked her. And if you remember, I said, she used to watch me, now I see that she's going live. It was a couple days ago, I scrolled by her live, she had just started it, she had 2 people, and you want to know what she was sitting in there saying? The only thing she was saying, $30, I need $30 to my Cash App, $30, can anybody help? I need some food, please. She's sitting in a beautiful house. You don't need that. Now you're just trying to get money for free. You're trying to quit your 9. See, I never had a 9 to 5 to begin with, to quit and then just, it's not like I quit an income job to start this. That's what she's doing now. $30, $30, $30. I blocked her. And it's people like that see, they see me, they see my situation. See, what's funny is I dealt with homelessness for years, mind you. Lived in a fucking tent, went to my 9 to 5, saved my money. Me and Kelli bought the camper together, but the point is we got the camper. Then I lived in the camper. Kelli went back home. I was living in the camper, unplugged, boondocking, having to shuffle it around parking lot to parking lot, dealing with police all the time, you know, but just making it work, going to the rest stop, unhooking the sink and turning the water on, you know, and having water flow straight through the pipe and down into fucking 2.5 gallon jugs from Meyer, you know. So I had water, and I'd take, you know, 8 jugs out to my camper, you know, that was in the parking lot, and then I would just dump cold water. I'd take that jug, you know, and I would drench myself a little bit, and I'd fucking scrub my body down with soap, and then I'd take cold water, just dumping it over my body, taking cold showers in the bathtub, you know. And then I got a little butane heater stove and a big pot, a big ass pot from Walmart for like $15, and I started putting, you know, the water in the pot. I'd warm the water up, and then I would hold that pot, you know, and I would just slowly, I'd have to make that one pot last. I'd slowly dump the water over me, you know, so I could bathe. But, you know, I always thought outside of the box, you know. Now I'm just simply saying I lived out of vehicles. I lived out of 2 different trucks and a car. You know, I lived out of a car that it didn't even run, you know, and I had it jacked up in the parking lot of my work. You know, had the passenger seat out, built a deck, you know, and I put a foam, you know, a mattress topper, put a foam mattress topper over that board and would sleep on that, go inside the shop and work doubles. Save my money, ended up getting that F-350. But I'm saying, you know, I had to deal with, you know, like I say, living in the tent and everything else. I struggled with homelessness, and I'm saying I never thought to get on social media and get help. And I feel like people see me, and then they're just, it's like they get to just skip this whole time of suffering, you know, where they needed to learn some things, and instead now they've just seen someone like me come on and be like, oh wow, I could just get help. And they just get to, you know what I mean? They get to just skip from A to C, A to D, you know? And they never had to go through B and C, you know, the steps in life, you know? And they really aren't suffering. They just, you know, and they're just, you know, but I'm saying I went 3 years of just fucking starving, basically. Extreme heat, extreme cold, extreme, just all this crazy shit. Never once got a room, nothing like that, you know. Man, and I miss those days. Isn't that what's funny? I I miss those days. I miss the days of just having my camper, sitting in the parking lot, hot as fuck, going to work. I fucking miss that shit. I never had to ask anybody for anything. And Kelli tried to hit me with that the other day, yesterday. Why don't you just get a job? You never had a problem before. I said, Kelli, I don't know. I can't explain it. You know, hang on, it wants me to verify for some stupid reason. I'm staring at the screen talking. How stupid can this be? You did not detect inactivity during my live. I've been sitting here talking the whole time. Somebody's reporting this because they're unhappy with me. But, you know, it's like, Kelli, if there was a job right here for me to be going to, I would be there. It's absurd. Like, when do people wake up to the fact it was freezing? Like, when do people wake up to the fact that, you know, obviously there's just bigger things at play here. It's not karma, it's not anything like that. It's just, you know, I'm not the only person in the world that can't get work right now. I'm not the only person in the world that can't get work. You know, all I know is when something comes my way, I sure as hell will know how to, you know, stack that money up and make it work for me. I know that, you know. And see, it's telling me to invite Happy, so more than likely she's on and sitting on the outside watching. That's kind of TikTok's way of telling you who's ghost watching you. It'll be like, invite so-and-so to join as a guest. Well, why do they randomly say to invite that person? It's because that person's sitting on the outside and the algorithm sees it. You know what I mean? Because it always does that only with two people. Her and Scarlett. They're the only ones. Never tells me to invite anybody else. So I know who's ghost watching me. The algorithm tells on you. Might as well come in here. What's the issue? Well, yeah, I don't know why Yuki's doing that. You know, it went from she was just going live and, you know, she had some dude there with her too. And they were eating and having a good time. And then, like I say, and then it went to she's sitting there asking for money just blatantly. Nobody's even in her life. And it's like, that's where people don't get it. Like, dude, you have to actually build support and time and rapport and relationships. And you don't just go on and just randomly, I need $30 while you're sitting in your fucking house and everything. And I don't, people's mindset blows me away. You know? For food? Shit, I need $30. I need $30. For food? I just want to get that shit. You know, Burger King does have, it says 100% beef. It does say 100% beef on the fucking box here. It's gonna be a long weekend. And I don't understand why Kelli, why she's still on this fucking kick. You know, come home, come home. That statement doesn't even make sense. Come home? Where is home? There is no home for me. I can't even come visit my kids at your parents' house. I can't even hang out on the back patio. Exactly. Come home to what? To where? What is home? This is more of a home here than there. You know, her whole fucking frame of mind, it makes no sense. That's what she says every day. I'm losing my mind, come home. I don't have a home there. I don't have any support. I don't have anybody to hang out. Nobody gives a fuck about me in Michigan. It doesn't fucking make any sense. I come around and her family calls police and starts drama. They literally drive up to where I'm sitting. If I'm at the park, they come to the park. If I'm sitting behind a shop, so they come there. You know, they call police and send police to where I am. You know, like, what do you mean? Why the fuck? Why in the fuck would I ever go over there? It is crazy. Why the fuck would I put myself in a position like that? She said that she would bring my kids to see me. She never brought the kids to fucking see me. You know? She never brought the fucking kids to see me. We got the coffers. We got the coffers in the house. Fucking take your sick fucking dog ass home. Fucking coming in a public place coughing on everybody. This shit is crazy though. Yeah, I thought Lovey was gonna help me with a bus ticket or something. She even said that she was gonna help with that. She even said she was gonna help. You know? It's fucking unbelievable. I don't be doing the cheating shit, you know? Of course these guys are gonna come sit right in fucking front of me. Fucking clown. He's gonna come fucking sit his stupid ass right the fuck in front of me. But you know, that's one thing I don't deal with. If I find out, man, there's another, you know, if you're fucking with another person, you know. I can't deal with that. You're not going to be kissing me and kissing someone else. I'm not going to be kissing a mouth that was on someone else's piece. I'm not going to be putting my shit where someone else's shit was, you know. I hope that's not the case here, but I made that fucking shit so clear. Yeah, I can't deal with it. If it was an open thing where it was like, okay, listen, this is what I do, you know, then like you gotta have an agreement, but I just, you know, I'm not gonna do it, you know. I have some feelings. I just hope that's not true. I gotta just, it's hard to, I really can't let it go, but, you know, I'm trying to fucking let this shit go. She had a hickey on her one day. I did not leave that. I did not leave that. I don't do hickeys. I ain't a little kid. You know. Yeah. She says it was not a hickey, but... And then at first she tried to act like, well, you left that. And I'm like, you've been wearing long sleeves. No, I didn't. And then she tried to be like, well, this isn't even a hickey. I'm like, okay. I had to let it go. I had to let it go or I was going to be moving the fuck out. You know what I mean? And I hate to say it, but I feel like, you know, some people, that's how they think. But what are they gonna do? They're the ones that lose. And I kind of was telling myself I wasn't gonna say anything about it, but I have to. I've got to talk to somebody about it because it's fucking eating me up. Just like today when I come down the alleyway and I see some random guy headed straight to the room, and then I come out. And she was standing in there on her phone too. like, okay, see you later. And she didn't even say nothing to me. I come out the door and there's some dude coming straight to the door. Spins around and acts like he's going the other way when he sees me. I've never seen him around the place before. Like, who the fuck are you? And you know, sometimes, just speaking in generalities here, but sometimes when a girl is fucking two guys, there's a smell. You know what I'm saying? Like their body lets you fucking know. I don't know why these people always come and sit right the fuck in front of you. It's so very annoying. You know? And I know it can have to do with other things too. You know, well, how they're eating and hygiene and things like that. But there is such a thing as, you know, their bodies be letting a dude know. You know? It's a real thing. You know, I gotta be careful how I word things on this piece of shit. But I think you get what I'm saying. I'm like, man, I don't know. We're about to smoke a cigarette and I'm about to flip around because I'm not going to be having some goofball fucking staring me in my fucking eyes while I'm sitting here. There's a million other fucking seats you can sit in, motherfucker. Doesn't make any sense. There's a fucking 100 other seats you could sit in. You're gonna come sit and face me, you fucking faggot. I think that shit makes sense. Sitting there with this fucking phone pointing at me too, you know what I mean? I don't like that fucking shit. I don't appreciate it. People need to be more conscientious, and I feel like they do it on purpose, honestly. Keep your fucking weird ass away from me. It's a private live TikTok. I don't care if you give me visibility restriction. I couldn't give a fuck less. Hey, whichever one of you worthless cunts are on the outside reporting me, why don't you bring your fucking bitch ass in the live and make yourself known? Quit being a fucking petty ass. Get your fucking worthless ass in here and fucking make your fucking face known. Quit pretending to be my friend and stabbing me in my back. Because you know what? You're gonna be really sad and sorry as fuck whenever karma comes around and you have somebody do it to you. You're not gonna like that when someone starts stabbing you in your fucking back. You're not gonna like when someone fucking pretends to be your friend and does some hoe shit, you know? You're gonna be crying your little fucking eyes out about that. Oh my god. How dare they? You just remember, you deserved it. Still got a long time to fucking burn right now. Low key. I don't know. Hopefully that shit is just, hopefully it ain't so. But, fact is, a lot of people nowadays are cheaters. A lot of people nowadays are fucking cheaters, and they don't give a damn, dude. They don't. I almost feel like women think it's funny. I think women think it's funny to fuck several people and have one dude put his piece in after another, and I think they think it's funny to suck a dude off and then go kiss another dude. I think they think that shit's funny. Especially when a motherfucker is clear, straight as an arrow, you know? And would never do any weird shit, you know? I think they think it's funny to do shit like that. Like Kayla, she was one. She'd fuck Ben and then have me eating her pussy. Make that shit make sense. That reminds me, you know what I saw today? You want to know what I saw today? You may or may not believe this one. A girl was sitting on her bed. You couldn't see her face. She had a blanket over her lap, and she was finger banging herself. Hard. I reported it, and they said no violation found. Can you believe that? No violation found. You're sitting there, your face is not even in frame, which is supposed to be a rule, that your face is supposed to be in frame. Had a blanket over her lap, going to fucking town on herself. No violation. Had 240 something people in her stream. That's why there was no violation, because she had a lot of people. Can you fucking believe that shit? Had 250 people watching that. Unfucking real. That shit just goes to prove. Let me plug this back in. You know, and then Kelli talks all her shit. You just have a sugar mama, and it's really not like that. It's not like that at all. You know? I don't appreciate her comments. And then when I say I'm just gonna block her, and I say I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna tolerate her talking to me like that and saying these things, then she's just like, I'm taking you to court. And then you know what she said today too, is I can't get, talking about herself, she says, I can't get any state assistance unless I file child support against you. I said, then why don't you go get a fucking job that you make enough money where you can feed yourself and shit like that. And she's like, and I said, that's probably why you lost your food card, because you were buying food to feed your whole family. You were buying food, stocking the house, and everybody was eating off that, but you're only claiming it's you and the kids eating off that card. That's not okay. You know, and she's like, yeah, but food is my rent. I was like, right, but then you applied and you were approved for cash assistance. Cash assistance is to help with rent. I said you were using the cash assistance to buy yourself Dre Beats headphones that are a couple few hundred bucks and shit like that. Going and getting your nails done and all this other crap. Who knows what? Buying yourself chains and shit off a TikTok shop. Make that make sense. Food is my rent, okay, but you only claim yourself and the kids, you feed everybody, and then you apply and get approved for cash assistance at one time. Now she doesn't get any. But you know, then you're getting cash assistance, that's actually for rent. You're saying the food was your rent, but you also were getting real money to cover rent, and then just using that for fun. And then you're gonna say that because I won't be with you, or I won't answer your call, or I won't watch your TikTok videos that you send me, you're gonna take me to court. I'm not gonna go to court. I don't give a fuck. I'm not in the same state as you, so it's not extraditable. I'll never go to jail. I'll never have to be there. I'm in a whole nother state. If I get a job, yeah, they might track me down. They might be like, oh, you're owing money or something, but the point is, they're not going to put me in jail in another state. If I understand it all correctly, if you're in another state, you're not going to go to jail. Do you see how, and even last night, she's like, I want to see you locked up. I think Kelli just wants to see me in jail. That's what I truly believe. And if I'm in Michigan, it opens doors for her to get me put in jail. And it opens doors for her family to fuck with me and get their gang stalker pay. Their community surveillance pay. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm just off my rocker, but I don't think so. Not whenever I'm on TikTok and I see hundreds of other people dealing with these issues. They just post about it. I don't post about it because I'm not going to make myself a psycho. And then they all wonder why they're getting locked up in institutions and shit. Well, you're also all over the internet saying that you know, think the world's out to get you. You know what I mean? But I'm saying enough people talk about it, complain about it. It's a real thing. You know? But I honestly believe that her family, you know, because I've never given them a reason to have a problem with me like this. I really haven't. I think she's just a manipulator. I think that's what she is. I think she's a master narcissist manipulator. And I see through it, and that's what really pisses her off, because she is a master of her craft. But it don't work on me. I see through it. Plain as day. You know? And she has to pay child support, which is what's funny. She's already been taken to court. That's what's so funny. It's like, bro, you have to pay child support. Are you fucking kidding me? And you're behind on it. You have a warrant for failure to pay your child support. And they don't pick her up. And they've been out there so many times, they don't pick her up on it. Because she's a woman. Roles reversed, they'll pick the man up. I knew plenty of guys in jail for failure to pay. But it's like, how do you feel like you have any room to talk? You're mad that other fucking people, you know, stuck it to you. Now you want to stick it to somebody else. You want to try to stick it to me, so I pay your child support. You'll take mine and then pay yours with it, basically. And you're not getting your state assistance, so now you want child support. What a mistake. That girl was the biggest mistake of my life. I got a lazy cunt that wanted to spread her legs for a free ride. She literally messaged that shit to me last night too. I'll find a better man than you. Good, find him. I wish you would. I fucking wish you would. I'm not gonna miss you. Again, it's not about finding a better man than me. You're just trying to find someone with a wallet that'll pay for all your shit. So you ain't gotta do nothing. That's all she ever wanted. Kelli don't want to work. Kelli don't want to build. Kelli don't want to, help, fucking, support or sustain a household. Kelli wants to be like her fucking lazy, bum-ass, cheating-ass, fucking worthless-ass mom. She wants to sit on her ass and scroll on her phone all day and have the man at work slaving. Don't give a fuck how many hours, how many jobs, how many side jobs. She don't give a fuck. She just wants to see somebody else fucking bring home all the money and her sit there and control it. I ain't gonna be a part of it. Oh, you guys are out there reporting me some more? Blow me. That's how I know that these fucking worthless cunts really love Kelli and really are on Kelli's side, because they sit there and ghost watch me and report me. Every time I bring Kelli up, people start reporting like crazy. Boy, they sure do love that bitch, don't they? That lazy fucking bitch. They love her. You know why? Because they're lazy too. They're just like her. That's why. They're just like her. Fucking sad.
You know what's harder than hobbies? That's hard. It is pretty hard. Man, they probably don't even know what hobbies is.
I don't have an address. They can't serve me nothing. They can't send me nothing. They can't make me sign anything. They can go ahead and just like overrule, and I think they can just probably sign rights over themselves, but I'm saying they can't make you go to court. They can't make you fucking do anything, especially when you don't have an address and shit. They can't do nothing to me. I'm not gonna go. I already was in the CPS hamster wheel for 3 years with my ex, and I had an address and I had a job, and they were showing up to my job and showing up to my house and trying to make me report everything I had going on. I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing it again, just for the courts to hand my son that got abused by his mom back to his abuser. Handed my son back to his abuser. Gave her a pat on the back and said, "Good job, you deserve him." How? I'll never participate in it again. I'll go to jail for contempt. If I go into one of those courtrooms, I will run my mouth and they'll put me in jail for contempt. Because I will cuss every fucking lawyer, the judge, and everybody the fuck out. I'll cuss them all out. Because I've seen the process, I know what it is, it's a joke, and I refuse to be a party. I refuse to be a party to any of it. I don't give a fuck what they say or none of it. I won't sign a single paper that says that I'm gonna have nothing to do with it. Okay, so yeah, exactly, fine. Thank you. And I see, I didn't even think about that, and that's fine. Run it. The kids will grow up, the kids will want to hear my side, and they will understand as an adult. They will. When I tell them their mom was ripping the phone out of their hand, screaming and cussing and calling the new girl a WH0R3, you know what I'm saying? You know, 3 instead of E. And all this stuff. And I'm gonna say, you were a baby and she was screaming about pussy and fucking and all this stuff. Dude, they're gonna be like, what? I was trying to protect you. I had to remove myself to protect you. You were just a baby. You were sitting there, daddy, daddy, all happy to see me, and then she'd start screaming, and all of a sudden it's like Riley thinks she's in trouble and she's sad, and I'm just sitting there like, Riley, no one's mad at you. Your mom's losing her mind. Hold on. Tell her to stop. You know, they're gonna understand as adults that that's not rational, mature behavior. I know it doesn't fix the in the moment, but long term, it ain't gonna work out for her long term. You know, even my dad, my own blood father, I met him mid-20s. I met him in my mid-20s, moved in with him, worked with him. Wow, and she might. You are right. God damn. Because I asked her, I asked her, do you remember the camper? She's like, yeah. She remembers living in the camper, and she was just barely learning to walk. So you got a good point, and she might. She knows I love her. She knows that. You know, she tries to take the phone, and it breaks my heart. Because she'll take the phone and she'll go find a corner somewhere and she'll set it up and she'll sit in the corner to talk to me, just away from everybody. And she'll just say, I want to talk, Daddy, I want to talk. And she can't really talk, you know. But that's what she does. You know. But yeah, I met my dad in my mid-20s, and you know, I understood. I'm like, dude, I understand. I see how hard it is in this world to make it. And if you weren't in a position to take care of me then, I get it. At least you're here now, you know, you're helping me now. We get along now, you know. We have more fun now than we'd have as kids, you know, like. And I was completely open to hanging out with that motherfucker. You know, we were doing construction gigs together. First time, first job. He didn't have a vehicle. I was driving him around, gladly, didn't mind. He hops in the truck with me. We go to the lumber yard. The fucking high-low guy gets mad at me because I'm back there smoking a cigarette in the back of the lumber yard. And I didn't see no smoking signs. High-low guy pulls up to me, put that fucking thing out, don't you see the signs? Dude, my dad, I can fully defend myself, you know, I just did 2 prison bits, you know, at that time. So anyways, before I can even say something to this guy, before I can even say something to this guy, my dad steps up. Man, fuck you, bitch, get off that you know. And he starts going off. I'm like, Dad, I got this. You know, the show was funny as hell. Fucking high-low guy gets mad. He peels off. My dad looks at me. He goes, damn, dude, I thought we were going to get to whoop somebody's ass together for the first time. You know, the show was funny as hell. But I'm just saying, like, when, you know, kids, when they grow up, they just want to hear the story. And once you know, I never made him explain himself or anything, you know. They don't care about that shit. Because Kelli tries to say, she'll hate you. I'm like, no, she's gonna hate you when I tell her you left me on the streets. You stood by while your family was hitting me with their car and pulling blinkies on me and fucking doing all this crazy shit, threatening me. She's gonna hate you. She's gonna hate you for not working when I was working, when I had a shop job. Had the camper parked out front. And Kelli would sit her lazy fucking ass in the camper for 10 hours while I worked in the shop, and the owners came to me and said, what is her problem? What is she doing out there? Why doesn't she come in here? We will give her a job. They literally offered her a job where I worked. And they said, take Riley to the office, an air-conditioned, clean office, big office too. They said, take Riley to the office girls can watch Riley, and Kelli can get her ass on the floor and help. And it was a doable job, so I don't want to hear her say I couldn't do that job. Yes, you could. They had quality control issues where they had tons of parts that had to be sorted. Boxes of parts that all you had to do was look at it. Good, bad, good, bad. She could have stood there for 8 hours a day getting $18 an hour sorting fucking parts. Yes, it does. When I tell my daughter that her mom looked her in the eyes and said, Daddy doesn't love you because I want to be in a relationship with her. Who would traumatize a child and tell them your dad doesn't love you because you're so jealous that I moved on and I'm with somebody else? You're going to look at your kid and say, he doesn't love you. No, I don't love you, bitch. I don't love you, and that's your problem. I don't love you, I don't want to be with you, and I don't need you. But you're going to convince the kid that I don't love her. No, dude. And so that's all I'm saying. I got to go through these things every so often to remember, because down the line, when I sit there and talk to Riley about all this shit, oh man, yeah, she ain't gonna have that. She's not gonna be cool with that. You know? And like I say, and to have had good jobs. Okay, there was